Right, on today's episode of Scully Productions, best
5, 10, 20.
Yes, each top 5 best cars for college students if you're a car guy.
Yeah.
Sean's over there, that's why I'm talking over. Well,
Hey
he's right
guys.
there he is. Anyway, enjoy. All right, first cars on our list are the trucks and the off-roaders. My first offering, and you might see it flash on the screen, late 90s Jeep Cherokee, shout out to Max. We found one in the US for, I think, 5,000 American. 5,000 US is like for a decent one that like runs and drives, and so you can find them between 1,500 Canadian, and then like if you really want to go all out, you can get one for like 5,000, 4,000.
Yeah,
US.
it all depends on your budget, what you're willing to put into it, how good you are with your hands and that. You know, shout out to my girlfriend.
All right, your first entry, go.
All right, so both my entries are pretty similar, but my first one is a Chevy Tahoe, and so the great thing about these is they're very similar to my second entry, which we'll get to. They came with very reliable motors, all from the Vortex series. The V8s are LS-based, so parts are really want to make them sound good. I've even heard of some mechanics who, on these cars, they charge less than book time. They're like, at book time's 3 hours and I'm done in 45 minutes. So my second entry, it was very similar to my first entry. It was a Chevy Silverado. So this one with the Z71 off-road package, it's a 4-door extended cab, 4x4 obviously, and it's $7,000 US, so it's not that expensive really. Like, it's hard to get into a truck for cheap, but this is pretty good. And again,
if you're gonna get into a truck, you want to get into a good one off the bat. You don't want to start with some rust bucket.
yeah, you don't want to start with like an old, like it may seem nice to start with the old square bodies. Those things are starting to go up in value and people are really starting to appreciate them, but we're from Canada, so cars just rot here. You can't get an old car that's that great. Evidence, Bonneville, TL, Civic, Celica. Almost every car
Every car we've ever owned has been a little rusty. All right, my second entry was a 1999 Jeep TJ for, I think, 4,000 Canadian, which again, the Jeeps are starting to go up in value as people start to drive them more. I would drive this one, I really like it. I think it was a 2-door, you can get 4 people in them, trust me, Max and I have done it, and they're a ton of fun. You take the roof off, you take the doors off, it's a great off-roader, it's a great date truck, it's a great food truck, like, Jeep, you can do anything with a Jeep.
Yeah, and I mean, everything's more fun when you go topless, right? So
the only thing I would watch out for is that the Cherokee would definitely be better in the snow because of its longer wheelbase. The shorter wheelbase Jeeps tend to kind of do this
yeah,
in the snow, and it's not the best.
they're so square of a wheelbase. Look out for rust. They rust especially towards the back of the frame, from what I've heard. It can be real bad.
And once they start to go, they go.
Yeah, the only way to fix rust is to put new metal in, especially on the frame. Like body work, you can do, but these are body on frame cars. If the frame goes, that's that.
All right, for our second category, we're going to call this the rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, sporty rear-wheel drive cars.
I've kind of gone for the more muscle car approach, and you've kind of gone for the...
Something a little bit more nimble, let's say.
The first car on my rear-wheel drive list is a 1995 Camaro Z28, and it's an LT1 car with the 6-speed manual.
Yes.
Now,
As it should be.
As it should be. I would empty my bank account for this car.
He's not going to.
Sorry,
though.
Clyde. I would.
So he wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
He wouldn't.
But if I had the money lying around, I would empty it. It's got T-tops. You can buy cheap exhausts for them. They sound great. They handle good. Like for us, they would be great. This would probably outrun it on a back road. Unlike Northies in the video you guys just probably saw.
Yeah.
This car would probably outrun it because it's twisty enough. But in a straight line, I think they made 300 horsepower.
And the Camaro's maybe just shy of it, but
Yeah,
still.
It's for people our age. Like I've driven a Mustang, as you guys have seen. Well, we both driven.
Yeah, and 300 horsepower is plenty for us right now.
When you're 19 and 20, 300 horsepower is...
It'll kick the tail out at ease, like.
Oh, easy.
But it's still manageable in snowy and wet conditions if you keep a level head on your shoulders.
Exactly, and we've both driven that Mustang in the snow, and it's not bad. If you're stupid, obviously you'll put it in a tree, but if you drive it with a head on your shoulders,
yeah,
you'll be fine. Sean's brother found this car for $6,900 Canadian.
There's this little acronym I like to use, MIATA. Miata.
No.
Because Miata is always the answer. And so I have found a very nice 1.8 liter Miata. 1.8 is important. They made a fair bit more power. They're just better. and it's only $4,500 in the US. This one is in great condition, a bit high in the miles, about 150 thou, but
still
these
low
are,
enough to be reliable.
yeah, and these things they're super simple, they're dead nuts reliable. You can get a junkyard engine for a couple $100.
Yeah.
And being a 96, it's also the first year of OBD2. So
would that make it old enough to be a classic? Next year it'll be a classic.
yeah.
So you could register it for classic insurance. A lot of the cars in this list we mentioned so far aren't great on gas. That one will be.
Oh yeah, this one you'd get like 25 city easy. And you know, he has the T-tops, I've got the convertible. Which one's better? Obviously the convertible.
I mean, I got a V8.
I can't argue with that.
My second entry, because I'm a Pontiac boy, is a 1991 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. Let's go. This one I think was 17, or no, Jesus, 17. What am I talking about? This one was 7,000 US. Did it have the T-tops?
Probably.
Hold, please.
We're trying to figure out if you grow a mullet when you buy this car.
Yeah, no, you don't grow a mullet when you buy this car. That would be a great car. It's about roughly the same power as the Camaro.
Actually, if I'm remembering the ad correctly, it had a crate motor with 350 horsepower. So that thing would have no problem getting up and going.
Yeah, hold, please. Damn, it has a crate motor. Never mind. This thing would be dangerous. I think for the money, this would be a great car.
Yeah, no doubts. Also coming in just under $7,000. I think that's about where yours was. Yep. I have another Miata. They're just so great. This one I think is a 1.6. It's a 94, so it's a little older. And it also has a few mods. And it would be again a great car all around. Yeah. Although if I had to pick, I would easily pick the other one because it's better to go with an unmodified car. You never know what kind of hack jobs people have done. Evidence, head gasket.
Yeah. Rebuilt engine, it's in great condition. Yeah.
Yeah, they did the head bolt delete, so.
Yeah.
What else do I have to say, Miata?
Muscle car. So now we're into what? The sporty front wheel drive cars, I guess you could say?
Yeah, the hatchbacks, the liftbacks. I'm just going to say it something like this.
Speaking of something like this is my first entry on the list. It's between a 2005 and a 2000 Toyota Celica. They're, for the most part, if you find one that's had the work done properly, not like this one, because this one obviously
with a bit of a hack job.
Bit of a hack job, yeah.
The oil burning was exclusive to the GTs,
yeah,
and it was fixed after 2002.
Yeah,
right?
so if you get one post 2002 and like a stock one that hasn't been messed around with, like they're great on gas. I've had them in the city. I'll get 400 to 450 kilometers, but that's also because I kind of drive with a lead foot. On the highway, you can get 650, 700 kilometers to a tank of gas. It costs like 45, 50 bucks to fill it up. You can get two bikes in the back, which I've done countless times.
Yeah, they're fairly simple, but
yeah. For like basic stuff, you have to do spark plugs or stuff like that. Like that's easy, but if you had to dig into it, they're not great. I mean, they look pretty cool. This has the GTS wheels on it. It's decently quick. Like it's roughly the same speed as a Civic with an intake and an exhaust, about that pace.
Yeah, maybe a little quicker just because it's lighter.
Yeah.
And you can also go spring for the GTS. And the issue to watch out for on the GTs is oil burning. The issue to watch out for on the GTS is the oil pumps.
Yeah.
The oil pumps themselves don't normally go bad, but from sustained high RPMs, these motors rev over 8,000 RPMs. And if you just keep them up there, the gears have a tendency to, how do you say it, explode.
Yeah.
You have two options really. One, shift at 7,800, cry me a river. There's always aftermarket kits to replace these. So.
And I think what Ryan told me is in 2000, that was the most extreme year of the GTS. And then as the years progressed to 2005, they kind of dulled it down. So if you got like a 2005 GTS, the chances of that happening are much less than a 2000 model year.
Yeah, and the example that we found is right smack dab in the middle at a 2003. For $5,000 US, it would probably be a great car for anyone, and it even comes with a warranty.
And the GTSs are genuinely quick. They make like 192 horsepower. They get up and go. Like it would walk this. I think it would run with the Civic Si.
Easy.
Yeah, and they come with a 6-speed. This car's only a 5-speed. They come with a 6-speed.
So it'd probably even be a little better on the highway with that.
Exactly. And then my second entry onto the list is a 2006 Acura RSX, which, funny enough, the RSX and the Celica kind of went head-to-head back in their day. The GT competed with the Premium, and the Type S competed with the GTS.
Yeah.
And they're right on top of each other in terms of performance.
The RSX made roughly 20 more horsepower in both trim levels, but was also around 300 pounds heavier. So in terms of speed, you were dead nuts even.
Yeah, you're right there. So if you got one and your buddy got the other, you got yourself a great set of race cars right there.
The only issue is I've heard some of the early ones, this is a later one, they have a bit of a third gear crunch to them,
Yeah.
but that was resolved into later years and also in the Type S. Although, as always with the Honda, watch out for oil burning. Ask me how I know.
All right, your second entry, sir.
All right, so my second entry, also an RSX. This one is a Type S. This one's in Canada, retailing for just $5,000.
That's actually steal.
And it's orange. Yeah, you can't go wrong with
No,
this
that'd
one.
be great.
If I could, I would love to buy this. I actually almost bought one of these for my first car. Funny enough,
you did.
he was the one who test drove.
Yeah, I test drove it.
And
It was a blue Type S. Yeah.
So this one, it's reasonable miles. It's orange. It's the newer gen, so it's not. The newer gen has a shorter final drive, so it's not as good on the highway. But I mean,
with the sporty front-wheel drive cars, they're not exactly highway missiles.
yeah. And the RSX, most of that 300 pounds was in sound deadening.
Yeah.
So they're already better on the highway than the Celicas.
Yeah. And I'm not even gonna pretend like it's not true. Like, if you were gonna take one for a road trip, the RSX would be the better car.
Yeah. In general, the Acura RSX was kind of nicer because Acura was trying to go up market.
Yeah.
Almost all of them had leather. Almost all of them had sunroofs, fog lights, auto headlights, auto climate, you name it.
And like you guys have seen the interior of this car, it's not bad, but it's not luxurious. You know, it's just
No.
here's your seats, here's your shifter, here's your steering
It
wheel.
certainly wouldn't be luxury by modern standards, but it's plenty nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, all the entries we've had, they're great. You know, some fun off-roaders, that's always fun. You can always slide around in a rear-wheel drive car, or you can get yourself into something like this and slide it and just have a good old time.
As you guys saw in the last video.
But maybe you want something to, let's say, boost the experience. These are cars that run forced induction.
All right, so my first boosted experience is the 2009 Mini Cooper S. Now, if any of you guys have seen the movie The Italian Job, in that the remake by Paramount, or the original, they used 3 Mini Coopers to steal a shit ton of gold. These aren't exactly the ones they used in the movies. I think they used 02s, 03s, but the supercharged engines were a little bit less reliable.
Yeah, and you know, older cars, they're going to be more miles, probably beat on a little more, fall into wrong hands who abuse them.
So I found a 2009 Mini Cooper S for 4,000 Canadian, mid miles. I think it had, or mid kilometers, I should say. I think it had 140 somewhat thousand kilometers on it, and it's a 2009, so it's not as old as the 03s and the 02s would be.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more modern. You know, they're going to be easier to service, to find parts for, all that kind of stuff.
Hopefully, because it's newer, it'll be more reliable too. And Minis do drive good.
They do.
The only word of caution is they are BMW underneath.
Yeah.
Which means when stuff does go, and it will, because it's BMW, it'll be expensive. If you are going to find one, find a good one.
For my boosted entry, I went for something a little more refined, a little bit more, let's say, German, even though the Minis were made by BMW. Anyway, my first entry is a 2012 Volkswagen Jetta GLI Autobahn. So the Autobahn is the top trim, which means you get leather, you get sunroof, you get all that stuff. Sadly, you don't get the plaid seats. You only get that on the lower trims, but you got to make some sacrifices sometimes. And this is one of the few cars on this list that I would say it's okay to get it in the automatic, right? The DSG, the dual clutch.
I think so. It's more of a highway cruiser than these other cars.
Yeah.
And on the highway, the automatic. Trust me, I love my manuals. We both do, but the automatic, the DSG would make sense on that car.
Yeah, so if you're still learning manual, you don't want to get into daily driving it, this is a great option for you. And this one it's a bit pricier because the GLIs were reintroduced for, I think, 2012, so you have to get a bit of a newer one. This one is $8,000 US.
That's still not too bad.
Yeah, that's
above,
not...
above some of the other cars on this list. Right up there with most of them.
Yeah, it's up there, but, you know, you get a lot of car for your money, right? So
my second entry, and I am not an Italian Job fanboy by any stretch, is another Mini Cooper. This one is a 2008 Mini Cooper S, and I think they were both stick. The first one was blue, if you guys saw the images. This one's black. And again, same kind of things. This one's a little bit more expensive at $5,500. Again, they're practical, like they're a hatchback, and Minis drive great. They're decent. The turbocharged ones would be quick. The Cooper S's would definitely outrun this. Would probably hang with the GTS easily.
yeah,
It
would probably be up there with the GLI and my second entry.
Yeah. Speaking of your second entry,
I'm keeping it Volkswagen. I'm keeping it simple. I have a 2010 Golf GTI. This one's only 5,500 Canadian.
that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all for this car. And in 2010, they got the redesign, so they look a lot sharper. You would not look at this car and say it's 10 years old.
No, you wouldn't at all.
And if you ask any non-car guy, and even a few car guys, they'd probably be able to say, yeah, it's only a few years old, if that. this has all the same great points as the GLI. You know, it's a fairly refined experience. You're getting the hatchback variant essentially.
If I had to choose between the two of them, I think I'd go Sedan. Just because I like the look of the Jetta over the Golf, but that's just me.
I'd go Golf. So there you go.
There you go. All right, for the last entry on our list, we kind of went for the more luxury sedan route, which we've both been proud owners of. He had an Acura TL, and I still have actually, the Pontiac Bonneville, the car from the video a couple days ago. And the one I found was now for my category, this is one certain car, but GM made a bunch of them with the same engine in it.
Yeah, and really, it's a very reliable engine with a fairly good transmission behind it. You really can't go wrong.
And the only issue it has was the one issue my car actually had that killed it, which was the intake manifold gaskets go bad.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest, that's probably the only issue that those motors really have. Sometimes thermostats go bad, but they're right on top.
Yeah, they're easy to do.
Trained mechanics can do it in under 10 minutes.
I can do it in about an hour.
Yeah, so there you go. No biggie.
But anyway, the first one I found was actually the fastest of all the 3800 cars. It's a 2001 Buick Regal GS. So it looks like your grandma's Buick, but it's got a 240 horsepower supercharged V6 with a 4-speed automatic. And the Buick, this one actually was the lightest of any of the 3800 cars. So it boogied, did 0 to 60 in like 6.87 seconds. But it doesn't look like anything. You pull up in a set of lights.
Mine's fast.
Is it?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Or you could get my personal pick, which would be a Pontiac Bonneville SSEI. Reason being is I think the interior looks a bit nicer. They ride a little bit better. They have more sound deadening, and from personal experience, the Bonneville is one of the best highway cars I've driven. For the money, at least.
Yeah.
And
for the money, I can't even argue with it.
What I would suggest though is that spend the money for one. Like I paid $800 for mine, and it needed a lot. Like a lot. So spend the money, find one that's been owned by a grandmother or grandfather, and get that one, because that one will be perfect.
You can get low mileage examples of these things for like $2,000-$3,000 Canadian. I imagine even less in the US.
And this is like the nicest one we found. It had under 100,000 kilometers. It was 4,500. You could wiggle your way down to 3,500 for that car.
Yeah, especially right now because no one's buying anything, right? So my first pick,
which is going to demolish mine.
Yeah, so we have a 2005 Acura TL 3.2. This one is a manual transmission too. The reason I picked this gen is because the automatic transmission is more reliable, and they have the manual. And the manual is great. I've driven an Accord with this motor and transmission combo, and it is a very slick shifting car.
Shout out to Ryan.
Lots of power, lots of torque. They sound pretty good. They have VTEC. You can't go wrong there.
You can break Mustang's hearts too.
Just for reference as towards how much these had, in 2005, you could get the Acura TL Type S with 3.2, 286 horsepower. You could also get the NSX, 290 horsepower. That's an NSX. Call me out on it, that's a supercar.
Alright, so my second pick, again, it's another 3800 car, is a 2008 Pontiac Grand Prix. The 04 through to I think 09 were much more reliable cars. They upgraded, they got the Series 3 3800.
Yeah, that was like, what, 260 horsepower with the supercharger?
Yeah, 260, 220, just NA, and this one's NA. But the Series 3 is the best version of the 3800. They hardly have any issues. All the supercharged 3800 cars will blow their trans eventually.
Yeah, usually at around 180,000 miles, around 280,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
But if you can get them well under that, you should have plenty of enjoyment out of that.
And if you get one that's NA, your chances of having transmission problems are much, much lower because the transmissions are designed to handle that amount of power more so than the supercharged ones that are automatic.
Yeah.
It's just facts of the car. Like if you buy a supercharged one, just know the transmission will go at 180,000 miles plus. Mm-hmm. But this one we found for $3,000 with how many kilometers on it here? 100.
Probably high hundreds, low 200s.
High hundreds, low 200s.
In kilometers.
In kilometers,
just to clear.
And 200,000 kilometers is nothing for those cars. They'll go to 300, mine went to 350, and had the gasket not failed, it would
still be going.
Yeah, it would still be going.
He'd be sitting in the trunk of that right now.
Yeah.
For my second pick in this class, I went for another Acura TL. This one is an automatic car. It's a 2006. I recommend for the automatics you get one a little bit what's English? A little bit later, because in around mid to late 2005 they updated the trans and they were much more reliable. Before that they had issues with third gear and if you're gonna get an automatic, just get a little later one. And so this 2006 is $6,000 Canadian, certified from a dealership nonetheless.
And take him serious about that transmission thing, because if you guys remember the TL that Sean had, it was starting to have transmission problems. It never left anyone stranded with its transmission, but you could tell it wasn't happy.
Yeah, it was starting to shift rough and have issues with the torque converter. So just try and find a new one. Make sure you keep up with changing the fluid on that transmission too, which is something a lot of people don't ever do.
No. And keep in mind, all the cars on these lists, they're all, I think the newest one was 9 years old.
The 2012 Jet.
Yeah, 2012. So keep in mind, these cars, they're old, right? Like, you need to keep up on your oil changes, keep up on your maintenance, keep an eye on them, because, like, Sean's Micra is the newest car us group of friends has ever seen. But the old ones, they are going to need things. They're not going to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
If you want something that's going to be perfect, get one of the Hondas. They're like, they just take it, and they go and go and go. So if you're looking for the most reliable, get the Honda.
Yeah. And something we both wanted to add to this category, we didn't put it in officially because it's just so similar to a car that we've already stated, but it's just so good that we had to state it, is the Honda Accord, especially with the V6.
Yeah, the Accord V6 Coupe with the 6-speed manual is probably one of my favorite used cars now.
Yeah.
Affordable used cars. Like, you guys, I think you saw it in a video once. No, you don't think you did.
No, not yet.
Not yet. No, you might see that in a future upload. But Ryan's V6 in his Accord, it's open header, it's loud as hell, but if you put an exhaust on it, it would sound amazing. It's fast, like it runs with Mustangs all day long.
Yeah, you could really upset some people with one of these cars. The same thing with the Acura, but these can generally be had for a little bit less because they hold the Honda name instead of the Acura.
Yeah.
Parts may also be cheaper as well because Acura is a more premium brand.
Exactly. But they're fast, but they're also great highway cars. Like, they're awesome to just set the cruise and just go. They'll eat up the miles. And I think we both just really like it.
Yeah, and they aren't even horrendous on gas. The TLs and 3800 cars, they can be a bit bad, especially in the city, but because the Accord is lighter, it's not as bad.
Yeah, and if you drive like us, it's going to be bad. But if you drive it like a sane person, it won't be too bad.
Mm-hmm. And again, with the automatic trans, later than 2005.
Yeah. All right, I'm out. Heads up.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye. We're not letting him out.
All right, well, you guys heard Sean. He didn't let me out. I'm still in here. I hope you enjoyed this upload of the top 5 best cars for college students. Not at all for sane college students, though. You have to be a car guy to want any of these vehicles. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was actually pretty fun to do. If you have any other lists or suggestions for lists that you think we should do, let us know. I'm open to a lot of suggestions. I'll catch you guys in the Sorry. I'll catch you guys in the next upload. I'm out.